Alright, so since people always ask this question, I know there are Sonic games on Roblox. I've covered some of them in the past, and I just don't find the entire game very appealing. Like, most of the stuff on there is cool, but I can probably live without it with maybe a few exceptions that you might see in this video. Before we start, I just want to say that all live streams I do from now on are going to take place on this channel, Garrulous64 Streams, and then highlight videos will be made and put up every single day on Garrulous64 Gaming. So if you're looking for fun gaming videos every single day or live streams sometimes, make sure you check those out. The most obvious game to talk about in this little video, though, would have to be Sonic Speed Simulator, which is a Sonic Roblox game that is actually officially sanctioned and sort of like ordered by Sega. I don't know, like they didn't make it, but they had someone make it, so it's an official Sonic product on Roblox that you can play for free. Now that seemed interesting to me, because Sega, when they hire external people to work on their stuff, often results in things that are pretty good, because the people they're hiring tend to be fans of what they're working on. So we can look at, like, Sonic Mania, for example. That was made by a lot of very dedicated Sonic fans who were used to working with Sonic in their fan games and ROM hacks and stuff. I feel like I recall something about the team who made the Sonic Speed Simulator game, about them working on a Sonic fan game in the past. I can't remember if that's accurate or not, but the point is, this game they created is actually pretty fun to run around in. Compared to the 3D control schemes we've gotten over the last several years, this game feels very free and feels good to use in this wide-open landscape they provide you with. The reason I haven't streamed this game, though, or made any other kind of video about it until now, is because I just don't really find it that much fun. Like, it's very repetitive to run around in circles collecting little objects that make funny little noises, and as much as that's fun for a little bit, the point of the game is to collect all this stuff, reach the highest possible level you can, and then restart from close to the beginning, and it'll, like, get faster every time as you do that. And that's kinda it. It's just about running around and having a good time, but, like, there's not too much else to it. Of course, there are side things where you can pick up new characters thanks to all the events they keep doing, and there are a lot of really nice fan-favorite characters and costumes coming into this game. Stuff that references stuff that doesn't usually get referenced, like some Sonic X stuff, and I think they have Hat Knuckles, which is another fan favorite. And it's interesting to see these things here and stuff like that happening in Sonic Dash and Sonic Speed Battle, because it's cool that people actually remember these things that you might like that nobody else remembers. I think the game is worth playing if you have some time to kill. You don't really want to do too much. It's just kind of like an aimless, sort of almost arcadey type experience. But for me, I much prefer some of the other things I'm going to be talking about in just a sec. Roblox or not, it's a good Sonic game. It just doesn't have the graphical fidelity of Forces, but it makes up for its lack of visuals by actually being a game as opposed to a hold X to win simulator. What we have here is a retelling / parody of Sonic Forces where you play as Gru, Gru from another time period, they even got that right over Sonic Forces, and your custom character. He sure is a looker, ain't he? The gameplay consists of just boost gameplay, surprisingly. You won't be taking it slow with forced 2D sections, and even the avatar stages are missing. But if we can all be perfectly honest for a second, I feel like the boost gameplay is what you sign up for when you pick up a 3D Sonic game these days, so I didn't really miss the other stuff. It basically just ensures that I'm gonna have fun playing every single level, which I did. Aside from the boost, the characters also rock a homing attack and double jump, and unlike Force's double jump, this one actually works like you'd expect it to, which helps a lot with the platforming. Another thing this game has a lot of, because, you know, these are platformers, not that you can tell by looking at this. Now, if you're familiar with Sonic Forces, you know how this is gonna go down. An evil, or should I say, despicable entity summons a legion of bad boys to defeat the heroes once and for all. The main character gets defeated, and it's up to the remaining heroes to fight back. And when they fail miserably, they get their boy back to pick up the slack. Something that became really apparent to me while I was playing this was that the story of Sonic Forces is so ridiculous. As I was reliving it through this fan game, I found myself laughing at it, not just because it was goofy seeing Despicable Me characters talking like this, but it's honestly not that much more goofy than Knuckles telling Vector about the fairness of war.
They actually have a great gag in this game with that particular line because both series have a vector. This time, instead of infinite, we're dealing with Mel, a minion blessed with ultimate power via his name tag. I guess. That's actual canon, by the way, not a guess. I'm just still trying to process it. With this ultimate power, he summons several Despicable Me villains, and I really only know this guy. You don't really need to know who any of them are, though, to be honest. For all intents and purposes, they're just Chaos, Shadow, Metal, Sonic, and Zavok. Except they actually give Chaos and Shadow boss fights. I don't suppose I need to say anything else about that little tidbit, do I? As a trade-off for that, though, the Zavok replacement, El Macho here, doesn't actually have a boss fight, but he has a really funny gag in the final level, and I think it's pretty worth it. The bosses aren't anything special, per se, but what I like about them is that they're pretty quick, and they're also pretty fun. So when they all show up for a second time in the boss rush, it doesn't break up the flow of the final level that much. Mel also has a boss fight, and it's not a carbon copy of anything else from earlier in the game. It's actually the hardest thing in the game, not to say it's anything excessive, but it took a few tries to S rank. I'm sure buying one of these extra things might have helped with that in one way or the other, but I'm already having enough trouble sleeping after betraying my morals by playing Roblox, so you'll have to find out about that on your own. Do I want to be a minion? Are you kidding me? Of course I want to be a minion! Don't get me wrong though, this game is not without its little issues. There were some times where the camera could be a little weird, maybe here and there it'd be a little hard to tell where I was supposed to go, but that's usually as a result of having a lot of paths to take, which loops around to it being a good thing again. Other than that, the final boss is a little underwhelming, but honestly, seeing the rest of the game, I can forgive that. The presentation, aside from the graphics, are really nice as well. All of the levels look colorful and fun, and I think the 80s prison was probably my favorite, Moonlight Battlefield coming in a close second, simply because they borrowed the style from Mario Odyssey's Sand Kingdom, and I'm really biased. And the music is something else. It borrows a lot from Sonic Forces, but when it pulls out its original songs, boy howdy. The song that plays in Dance Recital Dash is a Sonic Forces remix of Pharrell's Happy. And the Results theme is a triumphant remix of Pharrell's Happy. And this intermission theme is an elevator remix of Pharrell's Happy. And this isn't a remix, but I spat out my drink onto my computer screen when I heard it. Dear God, what geniuses were at the helm of this game? And that isn't even the best part. My absolute favorite thing that they did was that the story is delivered through these little chat bubbles, and they have like little Discord do not disturb things on them. It's hilarious. But very occasionally, they'll throw in some voice lines from either the actual movies or sometimes from The Office, because Steve Carell played Gru. That really catches you off guard, but in a good way. And speaking of this specific moment, I almost forgot they had another great gag with this game's version of Null Space. It's not a full level, but when you get sucked into it, it looks like this. Now, this here is what I remember Roblox looking like back when I used to play it like 11 years ago. Now you guys have stuff like this and that, and I can't help but feel a little bit jealous. This game also has unique art drawn specifically for it, and it is really good. Like, better than you would expect from something like this. It's background worthy, honestly. You can even go back and check out all of this art, amongst other various things, in the art gallery once you complete the game. And this is the point where I realized that even though it's a weird joke game, I really respected these guys for taking the time to make this. Not only do they make a great Sonic-esque platformer, but it also feels like they put a lot of heart into it, which is something I can't really say in regards to the original product. New to the game now, though, yes, I saw the comments talking about it, is Episode Drew. It is a parody of the Shadow the Hedgehog sequel campaign from Forces, complete with more art, and, you know, you get to go through all the levels again, except it sort of looks like the creators, like, drop the blocks and obstacles everywhere, like we're playing a slightly edited Mario Maker template level. But you know, that is all Episode Shadow really is at the end of the day, so kudos to the devs for continuing to capture the spirit of the original. It's also really hard, and I died a million times, but, you know, like, it's still fun because of the controls, and when I died, it's like, okay, yeah, because I'm not playing the level right, I'm doing bad! Which is not what I should be doing, I should be doing good! I don't know, no, I'm not a Despicable Me tuber. If you can handle the weirdness of this one, and anything that you saw just now seems enticing, please go give it a play, because you literally have nothing to lose, and everything to gain! Alright, I'm gonna put a game with Sonic on screen now, because I'm getting worried that people are losing interest, because it's been this many seconds since Sonic the Hedgehog has appeared in the video. Sonic Onset Adventure captured my interest for two reasons. The first, of course, was that I saw adventure in the title, and that triggered some kind of crazy dopamine rush in my brain. And second, there is no second, I lied to you. Onset Adventure impressed me pretty immediately when I booted up the game, and this menu popped up looking like something out of a real Sonic game, except for like the one Sonic PNG there. But it actually made me like come back from the character select screen because I just wanted to see it in motion and just like, oh boy! I got pulled back into the character select screen pretty quickly after that because I was promised Emerald being back in action. I don't care about the other guys, but I haven't seen the gameplay yet, but I'm on board. There's not actually much game here currently, it's just a big old testing area so you can get a feeling for things, and that feeling would be joy. You guys remember joy, right? It's a hard one for Sonic fans sometimes, I know. Once you exhaust the playground though, there's really not very much left for you here, but they did throw in Emerald Coast so you can check out how the game plays in a real stage. And usually I wouldn't like this because most fan engines don't really accommodate for Emerald Coast, but this one does, and also they fill in the gaps where the stage element is supposed to be with things that help you along, which again, some people don't do. So it's fun, it's a good time, and it's really making me look forward to the future. If it convinces you one way or the other, the bridge jump even works. You know, see, it is Sonic Adventure, that's cool. Look, Mom, a speedrunner! And perhaps the most promising thing about this game is that it is actually jumping ship from Roblox and becoming its own thing. So I definitely will be watching to see what happens next with this. You can follow the team that's making it right here. Pirate Adventure 1 is a game someone in my Discord told me about, and it is based off of Sonic 06. And Pirate Adventure 2 is based off of Sonic Adventure. This stresses me out. Like, if you're gonna make an adventure-style game, why not just let that one be Adventure 1? And also, why would you base anything off of Sonic 06? Because I don't know if things like this are intentional or if it's just to fit the theme. So I didn't really like this one, so I moved on to Pirate Adventure 2, and I was expecting to only play it for like a couple minutes or something, but Andrew, would you please do me a favor and put the runtime of the video file I sent you up on screen? Yes, I did indeed play the entire game. Now, I would never joke about this because Sonic Adventure is a sacred thing to me, but in this fan game, I think I might have had more fun playing certain levels than I did in the original Sonic Adventure. You know, if I ever heard anyone say what I just did in a video about Sonic Roblox games, I think my brain would go into cardiac arrest. And if you know anything about the human body, that is a very unlikely thing to happen. Here's your explanation for that strange turn of events, though. You know how, like, in Casanopolis and Sonic Adventure, you can go into the sewers, and that is the main level, but everywhere above the sewers is just, like, that subpar pinball minigame that I've never seen anyone play for more than 5 minutes? Over in Pirate Adventure 2, there is a full casino stage, and then you go down into the sewers. And also, the creepy shower Easter egg is also still there. I could have done without that, but it's there. That's attention to detail. Or how about Ice Cap, for example? Remember that part at the very beginning of the level where you gotta climb up the entire arena unless you know how to skip it, which I don't know how to do because I'm not Frank? This game instead just has a solid several areas of fun platforming. Did I mention that it actually controls very similar to the actual Sonic Adventure? So, really, it's just like more Sonic Adventure from another dimension or something. Or from a different time. I really like the entire game here, aside from Lost World, but you know, Lost World wasn't very good in the original Sonic Adventure either, so I can't really fault it too much. The cutscenes are also a lot better than in the first Pirate Adventure, but at the end of the day, it is just a bunch of Roblox OCs in a very basic, like, person versus person narrative conflict story. Yes, I went to college, and sometimes I even remember stuff from it. Of course, it's not my cup of tea, but, you know, I would never say that it shouldn't be there or anything, because I respect that you're able to tell the story you want to tell. And it's bookended by some very solid gameplay. So, like, if you are a fan of Sonic Adventure, don't not play this just because it's Roblox, okay? I might have a lot of times where I joke about it, but I literally sat down and I played this, and I would play it again. And now, I never have to talk about Roblox ever again. Well, anyway, I mean, this video doesn't actually have an ending, so, bye. Waiting for it. No, it's not gonna... Don't do it. Don't do it, Andrew! Don't do it, please!